So today we continue with our class Shabbos Home, and this session and all of them that we're going to learn today is going to be dedicated also to Leilun Shama, LevLeib ben Zion, also Lechavlu Rifah Shlema, Ariela Ora Basana, Mimra Sirachel Bas Brandel, of course our dear Rabbi Yaron Ruven, his name is Yaron Ben Doris, and also Atzlacha Rabba to Giveres Chana Bas Avram Avinu and the. Okay, so today we continue with our class Shabbos Home, and we're in chapter number 30, and our big topic is building. As we said, it's one of the biggest topic, right? Because it encompasses many activities. Okay, and just quickly. Okay, so section number 4, and our topic is activities included in the melacha of building, and we said there are 4 things: A, improving the ground; B, building a structure; C, repairing and adding to a structure; and D, assembling movable utensils. So we're on D, assemble movable utensils. So it's a small one. Actually, no. Mobile is something that is not. I apologize, something that is not connected to the ground, to the floor, to the wall of of the house, for example, or structure that is connected to the ground. Okay. And it says number 1, large utensil. Large utensils, although technically movable, are because of the great size, halachically considered small buildings. Therefore, with regard to melacha of Boneh is building, they share the law of structures built on the ground. Just as it is forbidden to build a full-fledged structure, even if the components are not tightly joined, so too it is forbidden to assemble large utensils, even if the components are not tightly joined. For example, if the sliding door of a large bookcase slipped off its track, it may not be reinserted. Since the bookcase is large utensil, adding even a loosely fitting door to it, violation melacha of building. Okay. So let's write that. That's it. So again, let's do from the beginning, and we're going to explain BeEzrat HaShem. So we need a lot of siyata d'shmaya with this. Okay, so large utensils, although technically movable. So bookcase and the definition of large utensils, we said it before. It's 1 amma. Amma is 2 feet, like an elbow. By 1 amma by 3 amma. So you can tell that there are many like dressers, like chests, like for sure in this category, right? Right in this category. So even though they're movable, but you can move it. I mean, right? But technically, but they still consider it like to be like a small buildings, small buildings for the purposes of this. It's like they're attached to the ground, even they're not. Okay. Right, and that's why, therefore, with regard to melacha boneh, they share the laws of structure built on the ground. Just forbidden to build a full-fledged structure, even if components not tightly joined. So the example that we gave a doorknob, for example, right, not tightly joined. So too, it is forbidden to assemble large utensil. So assemble like it. If it was not assembled before Shabbos, it's obvious, right? But even assemble meaning something broke on Shabbos. Okay, not allowed to put it back. Even the components are slightly joined. Even the components are not tightly joined, right? So meaning something is shaky. So the door, the sliding door, I think it's is the best example, right? Because it's not it is there. It is there, like it goes on rails, and that's it. Or sometimes there is no rails. It's on no, it's still rails. It's whether rails like on the bottom or rails on top. Doesn't matter. Still but since it's movable, you understand, it is not tightly joined. So if so if the door slips off, right, so you're not allowed to reinsert it. Since the bookcase is a large utensil, added even loosely fitted door to it violate the milach of building. Same not only with the door but the shelf. Sometimes shelf full. Okay. So all right. So next one is number 2, small utensils. The Torah and rabbinic prohibitions. Okay. Assembling small utensil is forbidden under the melacha of building. Small. However, the law of small utensils differ from the laws of large utensils in the following manner. One is biblically forbidden to assemble large utensils, even if parts are not tightly joined, right? Large. The biblical prohibition against assembling small utensils, however, applies only if the parts are tightly joined. Right. Accordingly, one who insert and tightly fitting broomstick into the broom, right, or tightly fitting table leg into the tabletop, right, has violated the Torah prohibition. One who simply inserted broomstick or table leg loosely has not violated the Torah prohibition. Of course, as we said, it's the person violated rabbinic prohibition, but right, so it's not allowed. Okay, but we will see if it's a loosely fitted. We will see that there's some leniencies. However, by rabbinic law, one is forbidden to join the parts of small utensils, even in a loose manner. So because of why in a loose manner, as we said before, many times it's only a matter of time when a person will try to improve it and join them tightly. The sages feared that one engaged in loosely joining the parts of utensils might inadvertently come, as we said, to join them tightly, which would violate the melacha of building. They therefore enacted a prohibition against assembling small utensils, even if the parts are not tightly joined. It emerges that one who loosely insert broomstick into the broom or the table leg into the tabletop has violated Shabbos law. So again, on different degrees. So for one, he would get death penalty. For another, he's not. But still, it's never allowed. Okay, so it's not about punishment. Somebody left a comment. All these things, like a person has some people expert in theory, about kashrus. So they say about hell of this and that. So what is the connection to what we say about hell, right? The Lerner will ask a kosher kitchen, and you'll get the answer to practical answers to all the questions. So and this person lives, I think he's a Jew, right, in a place where there is no free access, no easy access to kosher meat, and he's giving all this theory. Okay, so meaning Torah says it is forbidden, it is forbidden. So it's a rabbinic Torah level, on the rabbinic level. That's absolutely irrelevant. For us, it is forbidden, period. Okay, but some things, rabbis who forbid us actually gave us some leniency, of course, as always. Okay, so the next one, small utensil, Torah and rabbinic prohibition. So meaning tightly is, before we continue, tightly is Torah prohibition, loosely is rabbinic prohibition. Join tightly is a biblical prohibition, even small utensil, but loosely is rabbinic. Assembling small utensils is forbidden under milacha of building. However, the law of small utensil differs from law or large utensils. So large utensils are not allowed to assemble, be it loosely or tightly. Okay, so just so we're clear. In the following manner, one biblically forbids assembling large utensil, even the parts are not tightly joined. Okay. For a large utensil. The biblical prohibition against assembling small utensils, however, applies only to parts that are tightly joined. So that's a big difference. So in simple words, large utensil you cannot join under any circumstance. I mean, it would be always a biblical prohibition. But small utensils, if it's tightly joined, biblical prohibition, loosely it's rabbinical. Right. Accordingly, one who inserted the tightly fitting broomstick into the broom, right, or tightly fitting a table leg into the tabletop, violated the Torah prohibition. One who simply inserted the broomstick or the table leg loosely has not violated Torah prohibition. So, but rabbinic prohibition. Okay. However, the rabbinic law is forbidden to join the parts in small utensil, even loose manner. Okay. Okay. So far, so good. The sages fear that if one engaged in loosely joining the parts of the utensil, might inadvertently come to join it tightly. So, meaning one would lead to another. Which would violate the milacha of building. So before that, it's very interesting. We had a class. I have a Talmud class, Baba Mitzia, Baba Basra, and the case there about ribis, about inches, and there are two opinions about forward long. So meaning what? Person gives a loan to another person, and a person comes to ask for a loan, and person is hesitant. Said, "Look, I'm not sure if you're going to pay me back. Not basically, thank you, but no, thank you." And this guy said, "You know what? I'm going to sell you my field." Right, right. I'm going to sell my field if I would not be able to pay you by the 15th of the month, for example. Right, in 2 months from now, the field is yours. Okay, so meaning that the lender have nothing to lose. Right, so he has a field. So in this field, it was a sale contract with a condition. With a condition, if this person is going to pay, that's it. So it's like this sale contract canceled retroactively, like the sale never happened. But if this borrower cannot pay, so the lender is going to be like owner of the field. So that's his incentive to lend the money. So far, so good, right? And come the sages and say, what is going to happen if there is a produce in this field? For example, it's June or July, for example, right? And you have tomatoes. Who is the owner of these tomatoes? Because it was sale, so that the lender has her certificate of sale, right? So this field belongs to him. Of course, it's conditioned, but what is it? Of course, it's conditional if this person is going to pay or not, but at this point it's his. So maybe tomatoes is his, right? Or tomatoes actually belong to the borrower. Meaning what? So to the guy who took loan, so he's a borrower and he's a seller in the same time, right? So maybe tomatoes, like he did not sell tomatoes, he sold the field. But without tomatoes. So many they say, yeah, but sages agree. Yes, this guy can come and take his tomatoes, no problem, right? Even though it's not his field. But other sages say no. But this guy can take the lender can take his this tomato because it's his, right? And I think it was Rabbi Yehuda said, so that there is no problem, since that there is no for sure what's the problem with tomatoes? The problem with tomatoes is inches. So if this person lend them $100, $1,000, right? And this person gets tomatoes. So this tomatoes is like an interest on top of this $1,000, so which absolutely forbidden, right? But it's only if this guy is going to pay. If he's not going to pay, so it's going to be like a part of the payment or something. So somewhere I think Rabbi Yehuda said there is no problem. So if anything, this guy is going to refund. So meaning if this person, the lender who has the field now, he's going to take tomatoes, right? And you use them, sell it, eat them. And if this borrower would be able to pay on time, so this guy, he's going to the creditor is going to refund the money for tomato. There is no problem. If it's going to happen. If it's not going to happen, nothing. But if it's going to happen, so that's it. And our sages said exactly what this idea, and that's what I was explaining in that class, right? They say absolutely not, absolutely not. They say that if so, this lender is not allowed to take these tomatoes. This tomatoes interest to begin with doesn't matter if this guy pay back or not pay back. So they are afraid that if this person is going to take these tomatoes later on, he would refuse to pay back, and now we have the whole headache to take money from him and stuff like that. So meaning our sages, they what I'm trying to say, they foresaw the future in a sense. They see the person's psyche. So meaning if you allow them to lose to join loosely, like almost in guarantee, inevitably he's going to join tightly. So meaning if you're going to allow this person to keep these tomatoes, this interest like temporary, it would be very hard to take it back from him, right? So that's the thing. So I said that me personally, I understand the position of the sages, why they said so strict. They say it's not, if they say if a creditor wants to take tomatoes, the whole contract is off. That's it. It's not valid. Okay. So they therefore enacted prohibition against assembling small utensils, even if the parts are not tightly joined. So that's, you see, I mean, in my mind, so in that person's mind, I had to explain, like, the sages always consistent with their way of thinking, right? So they try to minimize instances when person is going to sin or possibly sin. Okay. It emerges that one who loosely inserted the broomstick into the broom or table leg into the table has violated Shabbos law, again on a level of sages. So we go into subsection B. Cases in which assembly small utensil is permitted. So as always, again, you see you already see the pattern. If the sages say no, right, they have a power to say yes in certain instances. So now, first case where parts of utensil are never tightly joined, right? In a case of a small utensil where the parts are not made to be tightly joined, one is permitted to reassemble it on Shabbos. Since the pieces of the utensil are never attached firmly, they are not to be regarded as single object. Therefore, assembling them does not violate the melacha of building. An example would be threading a pendant into the necklace or hanging the door of the small cabinet whose door is made to be hanged loosely on pegs. Okay. Pegs. Even in this case, one is permitted only to reassemble the utensil that was disassembled. One is not permitted, however, to assemble a loose-fitting utensil for the first time on Shabbos. For this will let melacha makik bepatish. Okay, so let's try to concentrate just on this. Okay. So again, our topic is cases in which assembly small utensil is permitted. Okay, where the parts of the utensil are not tightly joined. Okay. So meaning, right again, in the case of small utensils where parts are not made to tightly join, one is permitted to reassemble them on Shabbos. So reassemble from this wording, he's very precise in wording. So meaning it was assembled before Shabbos, and now it broke, or not broke, just fell off, right? So we can put it back again, only if they were made not to be tightly joined. Since the pieces of this utensil never attach firmly because of the design, it's not like we're not trying, because of the design, they are not regarded as single object, right? But two joined objects, right? Therefore, assembling them does not violate melacha of building, right? And example is a pendant, right, into the necklace. A necklace and the chain, I would say, but they use the word necklace, right? So meaning you can put in, you can put like to take out. There is no problem. Okay. Or hanging the door of a small cabinet, whose door is made to hang on loosely on pegs. So I mean, I understand like what they're saying, but I'm not sure what these pegs are. I mean, I think they stopped doing this pegs business a long time ago. Today they have hinges, like different hinges, like pegs. I'm not sure. Okay, no problem. But we got the point. We got the point. Okay. Even in this case, one is permitted only to reassemble, right? That utensil that was disassembled. So it was before Shabbos. So, but it's never allowed. One is not permitted, however, to assemble loose-fitting utensil for the first time on Shabbos, right? Because it's a violation of halacha makik bepatish. So makik bepatish, as we said, like we learned about this before, like striking the last blow. So meaning completing the item, make it usable. Right, make it usable, not even usable, like technically without, if you think about it, like without this door, this small, small utensil is still like so small, this cabinet, I mean, it's still usable, I think. Right, but now after a person would attach the door, it would look complete. So that's not allowed. So it's not. It's making bepatish is to understand it, make it usable. So it was not usable before we make it usable, or make it complete. Okay, so that's why it is not allowed. But if it was disassembled on Shabbos, you can put it back. So situation number 2, where utensil is made to be disassembled and reassembled. So that's simple, straightforward, right? Some authorities maintain that there is utensil where the utensil normal use involve taking it apart and then putting it together. Again, one is permitted even tightly join the parts. Very, very straightforward. For example, since the salt shaker is made to be open and closed, one is permitted to screw the cover on tightly. Okay. Because this is utensil, the utensil is normal use, and is not regarded as building. Okay, so let's try to understand. So second scenario where he said there are some authorities who said that if utensil not designed to be tightly joined, right, and it's normal way of disassemble and assemble them, right, then this melacha does not apply. Right, one is permitted even tightly join them, again because it's normal way of use. Right, example is salt shaker. Right, I've got this cup become loose. I'm not sure how, but I guess it's possible. So a person is allowed to tighten it. Or maybe they added salt and they did not screw completely. Maybe like this. Okay. Because this is a utensil normal use, it's not regarded as building, right? Meaning to disassemble and assemble. Okay, so let's do a little further. So next, subsection C. I want to see what it was. So B was cases in which assembly small utensil is permitted, and C is attaching small utensil to a structure. So that's a problem, right? Attaching small utensil to a structure is regarded as a building, a structure itself, right? This has ramification in a case of utensils whose parts are always loosely joined, but which is attached to the wall of the building. Although assembling small utensil that is made to be joined loosely is generally permitted, in the case it would be forbidden. For assembling the utensil, one is added to the building, which is prohibited even if added item is not firmly attached. Accordingly, if a loose-fitting sliding door comes off the truck of a small bookcase attached to the wall of the house, one may not reinsert it. Since the bookcase is attached to the building, it is regarded as a part of the building. By reinserting the door, one is added to the building. Okay, so let's summarize before we go over. So when we say these big utensils are one amma, amma is 2 feet approximately, a little less, but right. So 2 feet by 2 feet by 6 feet. Okay. Right. That's a big utensil. So even if it is not attached, so it's like on you live on the 3rd floor, for example, right? So you can move, right? A piano or something. I don't know, like a chest, right? This is dresser, like a top dresser. So right. So these things are considered to be buildings themselves, even though they're not attached to the ground, but because of the massive size, I would say it's like a building. All right, and but everything that is attached to the building, so it's like it's not its own utensil. It's like actually part of the structure. So it is attached to the wall, to the ceiling, to wherever attached. So it's attached to the ground, right? So that's what he's saying. So this small utensil, this small bookshelves that is attached to the wall. So in a sense, that the status of the small utensil, the way I see it, like it's easy for me to understand. It was nullified. To the wall. So wall is primary, right? Primary, and this is like was nullified. So meaning it's not small utensil. It's part of the big structure. Meaning it is a structure itself. Okay. So that's the way I see it. Like I think that's a simpler explanation. So let's review from the beginning. Attach the small utensil to the structure. Attaching the small utensil to the structure. So again, example is you have a small bookshelves and a door fell out, right? Or door they have this moving glass or something. Okay. This glass is also considered to be a door if you think about it. Okay. This has right again. Attaching a small utensil to a structure is regarded building a structure itself. So when a person put this door into this bookshelf, so it became it is like he attached something to the structure, and we said it's forbidden in a tight manner and not tight manner. This has a ramification in a case of the utensil whose parts are always loosely joined. Right. So we said. It was one of the exceptions, but not in this case, right? But this is loosely joined, but which is attached to the wall of the building. Although assembling small utensil that is made to be joined loosely is generally permitted, right? As a salt shaker, right? In this case, it would be forbidden again because it's nullified to the building. For the assembling the utensil, one is adding to the building, which is prohibited even added object is not firmly attached. So to the building, never allowed to to join object, to attach object whether tightly attached or not. If it's like separate small utensil, we said if it's tightly is forbidden, is not tightly is also forbidden. But there are exception, as we said. So if it's always not tightly joined, so you cannot tight. So this door on a trucks, you cannot make it tighter, right? I mean, if you make it tighter, it start becoming a door. It's going to become a wall or something. Okay. Accordingly, if the loose fitting sliding door comes off the truck, right? Of the truck of the small bookcase attached, right, to the wall of the house, one may not reinsert it. Okay, so meaning, as we explained, since the bookcase is attached to the building, it is regarded part of the building. By reinserting the door, one is adding to the building, which is absolutely forbidden. So number 3, utensils that hold, fold and unfold. Right, so meaning there is no problem. Utensils that come pre-assembled and need only to be unfolded before using, may be unfolded on Shabbos, since the act of unfolding does not involve joining parts. Right, it does not fall under the melacha of building, and it is therefore permitted. Accordingly, one is permitted to separate the folding beds, chairs, and tables on Shabbos, as well as a stroller, playpen, and the like. Not, however, in the case of certain large utensils. Unfolding then may be regarded creating oil, which is forbidden on Shabbos. So see next chapter. So oil, as we said, so this it's like tolada, separate parallel melacha of building, oil like a tent. So let's do this. Let's see time. Okay, so let's do from the beginning. Utensils that fold and unfold. So if you have folding chairs, folding tables, folding the stroller, there is no problem whatsoever. So the act of folding does not involve joining parts, so that's how they already they already like this. Does not fall under the melacha of building and therefore permitted. The problem is of this oil. What is the problem with the oil? So we're not allowed to build the roof. So meaning what? You would not be allowed to make child's bed, right? The small bed, assemble it in different place. Why? Because you build the wall, the wall, and you put the bottom part. So this bottom part, usually plywood, right? Or sometimes it's not plywood. This the boards. So these boards or this plywood is going to be like a roof of the oil, right? Oil meaning the tent, which is a problem. So, but if it's close to the ground, like up to the 3 to 5, there is no problem. But sometimes you want to make it higher, and it would be a problem. So, and we will see how to adjust it. Playpens, there is no problem. Playpens, they close to the ground usually, right? So it's like it would not be an oil. Okay. Folding made of oil. Okay, no problem. I think we can stop here because actually no. One more video. The practical application of the prohibition to improve the ground on Shabbos. Okay, sprinkling the sand on mud. Sand on mud. Sprinkling the dry sand on a muddy patch of the earth on Shabbos is prohibited. Because the sand become part of the ground, and it intended to improve the ground, sprinkling it for the form of building. This is forbidden even if the person intends to remove the sand later, for the fear that he will end up living in there permanently. One is permitted to sprinkle sand of the patches of ice in order to prevent the person from slipping on it. So we're going to stop here in a second. So let's quickly review it. So one, it's section number 5, right? So we said how part of the building is when we prepare the ground. So how you prepare the ground? So you flatten it as we said, but another you make it stronger, like better. So what does it mean? Sprinkling dry sand on the muddy patch, right on the of the earth on Shabbos is prohibited because the sand becomes part of the ground and make it stronger, right? So it's like a stronger. It's in a sense improvement of the ground. Okay. So and this improvement of the ground is that's how you start the building. First they even out they put the sand, the rocks, that's all other things, right? That's how they work out the land. Okay. This is prohibited. Even person intends to remove the sand. I'm not sure how you can separate the sand from the mud, but I don't know. But for the fear that he will leave it permanently. But sprinkle the sand on the patches of ice, there's different story, right? Because we try to prevent somebody from falling, and this actually would be allowed. And I think even in the case of carrying, we said yes, it's not allowed to carry, but it's not allowed to carry for beneficial reason, right? But in order to prevent the damage, we're allowed to carry. And the example that we gave, maybe not in this book, I don't remember where. Okay. So, but example where we gave that somebody broke a jar or some or glass, like a beer bottle. It's crazy people. Right, so now it's on your sidewalk, so people can pass by, can cut themselves. So now you're allowed, and let's say you don't have arrow, so you're allowed to move these pieces of glass because you're not doing it for it's not like you need this broken bottle of pieces of glass. No, you need your only intention is to prevent other people from injuring themselves. So in this case, it would be allowed. So one of these exceptions. Okay. So let's start.